The sun was barely up when I heard her voice, sharp and venomous, slicing through the quiet of our suburban street. "You're breaking every rule in the book," she bellowed, storming across my driveway with a clipboard in hand. I was buckling my 6-month-old son, Liam, into his medical-grade car seat, a lifeline for a baby who'd spent his first 3 months fighting to survive. She had no idea I was a veteran police captain with 25 years on the force. She had no idea that threatening my miracle child would be the biggest mistake of her life. My name is James Carter, and this is the story of how one woman's petty power trip nearly cost my son his life and how justice prevailed in the end. We'd moved to Maplewood Estates, a tidy neighborhood in suburban Ohio, hoping for a fresh start. My wife, Ellen, and I wanted a safe place to raise Liam, who was born at 27 weeks, weighing just 2 pounds. After 98 days in the NICU, every breath he took was a victory. His car seat, a $1,800 piece of medical equipment, wasn't just for safety, it monitored his fragile lungs and kept him positioned to breathe. We thought Maplewood, with its manicured lawns and community pool, would be perfect. We were wrong. The trouble started with Patricia Hensley, the HOA's self-appointed enforcer. Known as Patty the Patroller behind her back, she was a woman in her late 50s who treated the HOA rulebook like holy scripture. She'd measure mailbox heights with a ruler, count Christmas lights, and write up anyone who dared park a car slightly off-center. Most neighbors tolerated her, but I saw the malice in her eyes the first time she glared at our minivan. It was a crisp October morning when Patricia first confronted me. I was adjusting Liam's car seat, making sure the straps were secure, when she marched over, her loafers clicking on the pavement. "Mr. Carter, your vehicle is parked improperly, and that contraption in there is an eyesore," she snapped, pointing at Liam's car seat. "Ma'am, this is medical equipment," I said calmly, my years as a police captain keeping my tone even. "My son was born premature. This car seat keeps him safe." "I don't care about your sob story," she retorted, stepping closer. "Rules are rules. This is Maplewood Estates, not a hospital parking lot." Liam started to fuss, his tiny chest heaving. I shielded him, my protective instincts flaring. "Please lower your voice," I said firmly. "You're upsetting my son." "Good," Patricia spat. "Maybe he'll learn actions have consequences. You new folks think you can do whatever you want." Her words hit like a punch. This woman was screaming at me while my fragile son cried, dismissing his life as if it were nothing. "I see," I said, my voice low and controlled. "Thank you for making your position clear." She stormed off, unaware she'd just picked a fight with someone who'd spent decades protecting kids from monsters like her. The harassment didn't stop. Later that day, after Liam's checkup with Dr. Reynolds, I found Patricia by our mailbox, scribbling on her clipboard. She listed violations. My van was an inch over the line, Liam's medical monitor was clutter, and a guest pass from Ellen's mom was still on the dashboard. I explained again that the equipment was for Liam's survival, but she cut me off. "Your kid's not my problem. Follow the rules or leave." Liam started crying, overwhelmed by her shouting. I felt a cold fury rise, the kind every parent knows when their child is threatened. "Ma'am, step back and lower your voice," I said, my tone carrying the weight of a cop who'd faced down criminals. She smirked, mistaking my restraint for weakness. "Call the police if you want. I know people in this town." If only she knew. That evening, she pounded on our door, yelling about compliance while Liam struggled to sleep. Ellen came home to find us both exhausted. When I told her Patricia had said she didn't care if Liam died, her face hardened. "What are we going to do, James?" she asked, cradling Liam. "Nothing yet," I said, "but she's going to learn." The next morning, Patricia was back, snapping photos of our van at 6:45 a.m. Liam was having a rough day, his breathing labored, so I was extra careful securing his car seat. As I adjusted the straps, she appeared beside me. "Still ignoring my warnings?" she sneered. "Those straps are ridiculous. No baby needs all that junk." "Mrs. Hensley, this is prescribed medical equipment," I said, standing to my full 6 feet 3 inches height. "My son's life depends on it." "Excuses," she scoffed. "I raised 3 kids without this nonsense." She walked away, muttering about the HOA board. I drove to the station, her words echoing. My partner, Detective Ray Alvarez, noticed my tension. "You okay, Cap?" he asked. I told him everything. and his jaw clenched. She said, "What about Liam? Want me to handle her?" "No," I said. "This stays by the book." That afternoon, I came home to a nightmare. Patricia stood in my driveway, scissors in hand, next to my open van. "What are you doing?" I shouted, sprinting toward her. She spun around, brandishing the scissors. "Fixing your mess." My heart stopped. She'd cut 3 of Liam's car seat straps, the ones that kept his airways clear. "You destroyed my son's medical equipment." I warned. "Do you know what you've done?" "I solved your parking problem," she said smugly. "Less junk, better parking." "You could have killed him," I whispered, the reality sinking in. Those straps were Liam's lifeline. Without them, a car ride could be fatal. Patricia rolled her eyes. "It's just straps. Don't be dramatic." My training kicked in, not the hot-headed cop, but the one who builds airtight cases. I pulled out my phone and started recording. "State your name and explain what you did," I said calmly. 2 was enforcing rules, she stammered, her confidence faltering. "You cut a child's medical car seat," I said, zooming in on the damage. "This is prescribed equipment for a premature infant. You've endangered his life." Her face paled as I continued. "You were told this was medical equipment. You ignored that and destroyed it, risking a 6-month-old's life." "I didn't know," she cried, backing away. "You did," I said. "Mrs. Hensley, I'm Captain James Carter, Metro Police Department. You're under arrest for vandalism, destruction of medical equipment, and child endangerment." I cuffed her as she sobbed, realizing too late who she'd crossed. Neighbors gathered, whispering. Mrs. Lopez from next door gasped. "She cut Liam's car seat? That sweet boy." The patrol car arrived, driven by Officer Tina Brooks, a colleague who knew Liam's story. "She did what?" Tina said, horrified. As Patricia was loaded into the car, she screamed, "This is harassment. I'm just doing my job." I leaned in. "Your job doesn't include endangering kids or telling a father you don't care if his son dies." She crumpled, silent at last. Ellen came home and saw the ruined car seat. "She could have killed him," she whispered, tears falling. "If you'd driven him without knowing." We sat in silence, the weight of what could have happened crushing us. The next day, neighbors shared their own stories. The Wilsons, an elderly couple, said Patricia tried to tow their disabled son's van for being too big. The Garcias revealed she'd reported their kids to CPS for playing in their yard. Single mom Rachel Hayes cried, describing how Patricia nearly got her evicted for having family visit. It was clear Patricia targeted the vulnerable. The HOA board, faced with her crimes, voted her out and rewrote their rules to focus on community, not control. Liam's car seat was replaced, but we kept the damaged one in our garage, a reminder of how close we came to tragedy. 3 months later, Patricia's trial began. The courtroom was packed with neighbors she'd tormented. The prosecutor, ADA Laura Bennett, laid out the case. The defendant didn't just break rules, she endangered a child's life. She was told this car seat was medical equipment, yet she destroyed it, saying, "I don't care if your son dies." When I took the stand, I held up a photo of Liam in the NICU, tubes everywhere. "My son fought for every breath," I said. "That car seat was his lifeline." Mrs. Hensley looked at him and decided HOA rules mattered more than his life. The room was silent, jurors visibly moved. Patricia's lawyer tried to paint her as a dedicated volunteer, but Judge Margaret Evans wasn't having it. "You endangered a child out of spite," she said. "In 25 years, I've rarely seen such cruelty." Patricia got 18 months for child endangerment, 6 for vandalism, and a lifetime ban from Maplewood. As she was led away, she mouthed, "I'm sorry." Too late. Outside, neighbors hugged us. "Justice for Liam," Mrs. Lopez said. "For all of us," added Mr. Wilson. That night, as I rocked Liam to sleep, his tiny hand gripped my finger. "You're safe, buddy," I whispered. "Always." 6 months later, Maplewood was unrecognizable. Kids played freely, neighbors smiled, and the HOA focused on potlucks, not punishments. Liam, now thriving, no longer needed his special car seat, but his strength inspired us all. Looking back, I don't regret arresting Patricia. She chose to value rules over a child's life. I chose to protect my son. Today, Liam runs in our yard, laughing with other kids in a neighborhood that feels like home. That's the justice we fought for. What do you think? Have you ever faced someone like Patricia, who abused power or dismissed injustice? Share your thoughts in the comments. Should people like her face harsher consequences? Or is redemption possible? Let's discuss.